All right, let's talk about something that's, well, it's pretty much everywhere these days. I'm talking about intermittent fasting.
I mean, you've definitely heard about it, right? Your friends are probably trying it. It's all over your social media feed. It really feels like everyone is talking about skipping meals to, unlock some secret health benefit. But here's the thing. Is this trend really just about skipping breakfast? Or is there something much deeper going on? What if it's actually about flipping a powerful, ancient switch deep inside your body's cells? That's what we're going to dig into today.
Okay, so first things first, beyond all the hype, what are we actually talking about here? What even is intermittent fasting? So right off the bat, it's important to know that intermittent fasting, it's not really a diet in the way we usually think about it. It doesn't tell you what to eat. Nope. It's all about when you eat. It's simply a pattern, a cycle between periods of eating and, well, periods of not eating. Okay, so that's the big question, isn't it? How can just changing the timing of your meals actually do anything significant? Well, the answer is fascinating, and it all comes down to something called the metabolic switch. So let's walk through what happens when you actually start a fast. For the first, say, 12 hours, it's pretty much business as usual. Your body's just burning through the glucose, the sugar, from your last meal. Easy peasy. But then, somewhere between the 12 and 16-hour mark, things get interesting. Your liver's glycogen, which is your stored sugar, starts to run low. And that's when the magic really starts. Your body kind of goes, uh-oh, the easy fuel's gone, and it flips this switch to find a totally different source of energy. A really good way to picture this is to think of your body like a hybrid car. Most of the time, it's running on gas, right? That's the glucose from your food. But when that gas tank runs low, when you fast long enough, it automatically switches over to its backup electric battery. In this electric power, that comes from ketones, which your liver makes by breaking down your own body fat. That flip from glucose to ketones, that is the metabolic switch. It's an ancient survival program we all have. But here's what's so cool. Flipping this switch isn't just about changing your fuel. It's like a system-wide alert. It sends a signal to all your cells to kickstart a massive, powerful process of deep cleaning and repair. And that brings us to this incredible process called autophagy. Sounds complicated, but it literally just means self-eating. Think of it like this. When you fast, your cells turn on their own internal cleanup crew. They go around, they find all the junk, the old damaged parts, the misfolded proteins, the worn-out cellular machinery, and they just gobble it up and recycle the pieces. It's a deep clean, right at the cellular level. And this isn't just some theory either. Scientists are literally watching this happen. I love this quote from the researchers who basically figured out the mechanics of it. They describe how the cells build these little cellular trash bags to haul away all the garbage. It's amazing. And this cellular deep clean is thought to be one of the biggest reasons fasting has these health benefits. Okay, there's one more really important idea we need to talk about, and it's called hormesis. You've definitely heard the saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? Well, hormesis is basically that, but for your cells. A little bit of stress, like from fasting or from exercise, is actually good for them. It forces them to adapt, to beef up their defenses, and to become way more resilient in the long run. So what does that stronger cell actually look like? Well, this beneficial stress from fasting kicks off a whole chain reaction of good stuff. It helps reduce oxidative stress, that's the damage from free radicals. It makes your cells better at producing energy. It helps cool down inflammation, and get this, it even helps your cells get better at repairing their own DNA. It's pretty incredible. All right, so the science at the cellular level is, well, it's fascinating. But that's the theory. What happens when we look at actual human beings in clinical trials? What does the evidence really say? Let's tackle the big one first. The question everyone wants to know, is this a magic bullet for weight loss? Well, the science is pretty clear on this, and the answer is, it's a little nuanced. When you look at long-term studies, yes, people who do intermittent fasting lose a significant amount of weight. But so do people who just do standard calorie restriction. When you put them side by side, intermittent fasting isn't actually better. It's basically just as effective. So for weight loss, it works, but it's not some magic trick. But okay, maybe weight loss isn't the whole story. Remember all that cool cellular stuff we talked about? What about our deeper metabolic health? What does the science say there? Now this is where things get really, really interesting. A huge analysis of a bunch of different trials found that intermittent fasting can significantly improve insulin sensitivity. And that
That is a very big deal. When your insulin sensitivity is better, it just means your body is way more efficient at handling blood sugar. And that's absolutely crucial for fending off things like type 2 diabetes.
And here's the real kicker. These incredible metabolic benefits, they often happen even if you don't lose any weight. That tells us something really important. It suggests that the act of fasting itself is triggering these positive changes, and it's not just a side effect of losing a few pounds. It really is about the timing. And the research doesn't stop there. It's branching out into all sorts of cool areas. For example, studies in animals suggest it could be good for brain health, helping create new neurons. Other studies in humans show it can have a positive impact on our gut bacteria. And on top of all that, we're seeing that fasting can help lower key markers of inflammation in the body. Now, we have to be fair and balanced here because science is always evolving. Very recently, some new preliminary data came out that raised some questions. It suggested a possible link between a very specific type of time-restricted eating and long-term cardiovascular risk. It just goes to show you that this is a really active area of research, and we definitely don't have all the answers yet. Okay, so let's try to wrap our heads around all this. We've gone from the deep cellular science all the way to the human studies. So what's the big picture here? But hold on. Before we all get excited about autophagy and metabolic switches, we have to ask a really simple question. Can people actually do this? Is it practical in the real world? And, well, the data shows it can be tough. One study found that most people found both the feasting and fasting days to be difficult, and over 70% said it was harder than other diets they'd tried. So just sticking with it can be a huge hurdle. And I think that brings us to the real takeaway here. What intermittent fasting really does is it forces us to see food differently. It's not just about calories or fuel, it's also about information. The timing of when we eat sends these incredibly powerful signals to our cells, waking up these ancient programs for repair and resilience. So maybe the biggest question this trend leaves us with isn't just what are you eating, but what time is it? What messages are you sending to your cells? And maybe more importantly, are you giving them the quiet time they need to do their work?